little bit of thanks to everybody that came out in person last year and everybody that comes out virtually this year. So let me share my screen and I will let the video take it away. Screen, and I will let the video take. Muted. There we go. Hello, everybody again. I just wanted to thank everybody so much for being able to come out and join us for this virtual story time. And I just wanted to thank all the our regulars that come out and everybody that's new that's coming out for the first time. So let's get started. I'm going to introduce myself really quickly. I'm Mr. Josh. I work at Applewood Estate. I'm an educator there. We have some amazing guests today. We have our ASL interpreter, Samantha. And then we also have our amazing guest, Rico Phillips, today.
Hey, boys and girls.
All right, so let's get started with the day. So today what we're going to talk about is we're actually going to talk about superheroes in our community and how all of us can be superheroes. CS and Ruth were superheroes in their community, and their superpower was giving back to the community. And they gave back in many different ways. Money was one way, but another way that they gave back was the time and effort they spent to build the community. Being a community superhero is not always about giving money away. While that is one good way that you can become a superhero in your community, it's not the only way. Giving time and energy to your community is also a great way that you can become a community superhero. And today we're actually going to be reading a book about some rules that you have to follow when you become a superhero. And they may not quite be as hard as you think they are. So we're going to get a chance to check those out. And then we're also going to get a chance to talk to our very own community superhero. So today, the book that we're going to read is 10 Rules of Being a Superhero by Deb Paludi. So what this book is about, and I've kind of talked about it a little bit already, is it's 10 rules to becoming, or once you become a superhero, those rules you have to follow. And they may not be as hard as you think they are. So as we read the book, we'll follow along and then we'll kind of find out that normal citizens can become superheroes in their community and their everyday lives. So as I mentioned before, everybody can be a superhero in their community. So as we read, let's keep our listening ears open for some different ways that we can help out in the community. All right, without further ado, Rico, would you like to take it over?
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Mr. Josh. I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Firefighter Rico Phillips. I'm a recent retiree of the City of Flint Fire Department, and I was representing our community, which is your community. The book is called 10 Rules of Being a Superhero by Deb Paludi. Rule number one, a superhero must always respond to a call for help, even if the odds are against him. Rule number two, saving the day is messy, but everyone understands. Here, Captain Magma says, nobody said saving the day was glamorous, and moms don't understand rule number two too well. Rule number three, every superhero has at least one superpower that makes him super. Captain Magma has three. He's really strong, has lava vision, and a friendly personality. Captain Magna says, that's true, but I do wish I could fly. Rule number four, a superhero must use his powers in a good way. Here, Captain Magma says, cookies for all. Boy Lava says, he's super strong. And over here, mine, all mine. Mwahaha! Villains are their powers, and villains use their powers in a evil way. Rule number five, sometimes superheroes make a lot of noise. Can you make some noises with me? Grr, stomp, pow, wham. Not everyone appreciates this rule. We all know what a baby's cry sounds like. Can you cry like a baby with me? Wah! Of course, Boy Lava decides, let's play outside. Probably a good idea too. Rule number six, a superhero needs a tasty snack to be in top form. And over here, oh, a little burp. Excuse me. Rule number seven, superheroes must rest so they can recharge and be ready when the time comes to save the day. Help! Help! Hello? Excuse me? Yoo-hoo! Can you give me a hand? That's Boy Lava's neighbor. Rule number eight, a superhero is always brave. What's that buzzing sound? Can you see the bee? How about you? Can you make a buzzing sound? Bzzz. Well, almost always. Oh dear, don't be afraid of the bee. I'm not, but Captain Magnum is. And Captain Magnum says, am not. Rule number nine, the goal of a superhero is to save innocent victims. Not this worm, Big Bird, says Captain Magma, with no thought for his own safety. Uh-oh. I can fly. He finally can fly because a bird is helping him. This is kind of awkward. Boy Lava has to climb up the tree to help Captain Magma. Rule number 10, every superhero needs a sidekick because saving the day is more fun with a friend. Anytime, Captain Magma. Thanks, Lava Boy. The end.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rico. That was
welcome.
amazing. So we
welcome.
actually learned a couple different ways that you can help out. It was small little ways that they were doing, like sharing cookies or helping a friend out when it was in need. The 10th rule being you need a partner, a sidekick. That's something that's really important too, is, you know, having somebody alongside you that can help out in the community with you. So I know that we talked a lot about becoming a superhero in your community. And we at Applewood try to become superheroes in our community anytime we can, whether it's helping financially in the community or providing educational programming like the one we're at today. This is our superpower. And you saw the different superpowers that you had in the book, but I think that as long as you put a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and a little bit of hard work, you can become a superhero of your own in your own community. So I think we can help you out because we want to make sure that you become the best superhero you can. And we're going to help you out today in a way that we're going to talk to our very own community superhero. So without further ado, let's have a conversation with Firefighter Phillips, Rico Phillips here. So Mr. Rico, would you like to give us a little bit of background? Where are you from? Just a little bit of your history.
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Josh. So I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, like so many of you that are watching today. I grew up and went to school in Flint Community Schools. And from the time I was a young boy, I decided that I wanted to be a firefighter. I believe I was 6 years old. So my entire life while I was in school, all I could think about is what would it take to become a firefighter? I looked up to firefighters as superheroes within our community. So I guess in some sense, I wanted to be just like them. And so as I got older, I worked harder and harder, and to the point when I became an adult. And when I became a grown up, I had my first opportunity to become my lifelong dream of being a professional firefighter. And so from there, I decided that while putting fires out was very important, I thought what was equally as important or just as important is that I make sure that kids like you and your families stay safe from fire. It was my way to help out before a fire or an emergency happened. And I didn't just do that alone. Just like in the story, there's a team of firefighters that do our job. Not one firefighter can do the job alone. It takes a team of us, and we work all together to do our very best to be as safe as possible to help keep you safe.
Awesome. Well, that was an amazing backstory. So we actually have some fun questions for you, Rico. Are you potentially ready to answer some questions?
Oh, yes, I'm always ready.
All right. So if you are watching live on Facebook right now and you would like to have your question answered, we can try our best. If you want to put them down in the comments below. If they don't get answered today on the live stream, I will collect them and actually send them over to Rico so we can get you an answer. I have some pre-made questions and some questions that I've gotten from some of our Ruth Mott Foundation kids. Some questions for Rico about him being a firefighter, and also some questions about his work in the community as well. So you kind of answered the first question that everybody seemed to want to know is, why did you want to become a firefighter? Was there something specific about being a firefighter that you really liked?
Yeah, so I was like so many children that watch television and are able to dream and imagine from the characters that you see on television. So I watched a television show that many of your parents or grandparents may remember. It was called Emergency. And this show was about two firefighters who were also paramedics, which means not only did they fight fires, but they also helped people that were sick or hurt. So those, the characters on the show are the people that actually inspired me. And so then I would ask my father if I could go to a visit to the fire station. So at the age of 7, I visited the fire station in downtown Flint, Michigan for the very first time. And it was from there I started to dream and imagine myself becoming a firefighter. So when I was able to actually become a firefighter, and my first assignment was at that same fire station that I dreamed and imagined myself working at, I told myself that dreams can come true if you work hard enough at them.
That's amazing. So another question that we have is, were you ever scared while fighting fires?
I would say that most firefighters are very aware of the dangers of fire. So I'm not going to try to tell you that I was never afraid of situations that came about, because what is normal in our mind is that fire and smoke is dangerous and we need to go the other way. But through the thanks of training, we are trained, highly trained individuals that work as a group. That training is what gives us our courageousness, where we're willing to go inside of places that are dangerous for everyone else. And also the equipment that we wear helps keep us safe as well. And so we have to understand our equipment and what its capabilities are. In other words, what it can do to help protect us. And then we also have to understand the science of fire. There's a science with fire. Doesn't just happen. And so when you have those things combined, it helps take away some of that fear. But it is scary at times, because you know that you can be hurt or even worse by doing our type of work.
Awesome. So it really sounds like getting as much information and knowledge about whatever you're dealing with, whether it's something around the community or something as serious as fighting fires, learning is incredibly important, is what it sounds like.
That's correct, Mr. Josh, because today we were going to have firefighters from Flint that are working on the job at the fire station join us. But because we have to have training or school, we go to school every single day of the week that we work, so that we can be the very best to help keep ourselves safe, which in turn helps keep the community safe. So they had to go to school today instead of being able to join us. So I know there's sometimes when you want to go do things and school is, you have to go to school first. Understand this, that your brain is a sponge, and no matter how old you are, you have room to learn things and grow. So even as we become firefighters, we are always learning and growing so we can be the best that we can be.
Yeah. Ruth was always famous in saying that if you could do anything, try to learn one thing every day. And I think that's a pretty solid advice right there.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next question is, what about being a firefighter has made you most proud?
The part about being a firefighter that's made me most proud is that for everyone in my community whether it be my family or my friends or people that I went to school with, it's a source of pride, because firefighters represent what's good and great about the community. These are folks that put their lives on the line to help make sure that others are safe. And it gives me incredible pride to also know that I accomplished a childhood dream. And not only did I accomplish that dream, but then I made the most of that dream while I was there by being more than just a firefighter, by being someone that the community could respect and respond to. I could go out and teach children fire safety at their schools. I could teach adult fire safety at their work, and seniors at their senior citizen centers. So that all combined has helped make me, so I'm one of the most proud firefighters you'll probably find.
That's amazing. So one of our staff's children, actually my co-educator, Renee, her daughter, was wondering, how do you know where the fires are at?
That is a question that is always on our mind. From the moment that the call is received for a fire, we start to play or we start to imagine what the fire could potentially look like or possibly look like before we get there. When we arrive at the scene, we look at a lot of different things like how is the house constructed or built? How is the house built? Where is the door? And where are entrances and exits to the house? Those are the first things. Those are about safety and getting people in and out. The second thing we look for is the smoke. What color is the smoke? How much smoke is there? And the smoke is typically or usually our guiding light or the way we try to find the fire. So if there's a fire at a house, we don't just open the door and start spraying water everywhere. We're going to look for where the fire actually is so we can put the fire out and not just wet everything down on our way to finding the fire. Because what we're trying to do is stop the spread of fire. So what we do is we go inside the home and we, through our experience, we have an idea by where the smoke is coming from, where to look for the fire.
Gotcha. That is super interesting. All right. One last firefighter question, and then I'm going to get some community questions in there. So this is the last firefighter question. Did you get to slide down a fire pole?
Anybody that's a firefighter or knows me personally knows that was my specialty when I gave tours at the fire station. Because when I was a little boy, before I ever really was able to go inside a fire station and visit, I used to sit across the street from the main fire station and wait and hope and kind of hope. I mean, now that I look back, I was hoping for someone to have an emergency, but at the time it was so cool to see a firefighter slide down the pole and go on the trucks and go on the emergencies. And so it was always exciting. So when I joined the fire department, one of the first things I wanted to learn how to do was slide down that pole. And I can tell you this, that I perfected it in a way where I could actually go up the pole. I couldn't slide up the pole, but I could climb the pole. And it was, again, one of my favorite parts of station house tours. So absolutely, I've slid the pole on several occasions.
It seems like too good of an opportunity not to do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's funny about it is it attracts people's attention when they come and visit the fire station. Everyone wants to see someone slide down the pole.
Absolutely. All right. So we know that you've done a ton of work in your community by being a firefighter, but how do you think being a firefighter has actually helped you work in the community outside of your actual job as a firefighter?
Well, Mr. Josh, what it helped me do is realize that there are people that exist or that are around our community that could always use a little bit of help, whether it be helping them in an emergency or helping them just feel better about themselves or help them feel good about who they are in this world that we call Flint or wherever their communities are. And so because of that, what it did is it helped me look outside of who I was as a Flint firefighter and wanted to be able to help more people in more ways. And so while I was doing my best possible job that I could to help prepare people for a crisis or an emergency, I felt like I had more to offer outside of those emergency situations. So I started to get into my favorite sport in the whole world, which I didn't realize until I was in high school, but I started becoming involved in ice hockey. And when I got involved with ice hockey, I learned about the extreme or a great level of skill that the hockey players had by learning not only how to move their bodies, but how to ice skate and how to skate with a puck on the end of a stick. It's highly skilled, but also the level of passion or amount of energy that the players will put into the sport. And they seem to have a very tight bond or closeness about them because of the skills that they had to endure to get to that spot. So I started getting into hockey, which led me on to other opportunities to give hockey back to kids that just normally wouldn't have the opportunity. Sort of like me when I was a kid, I didn't have the opportunity. So I decided to give back of myself in the community by offering ice hockey absolutely free to kids that live in the city of Flint between the ages of 8 and 11, so 3rd to 5th graders. and they get to learn that it's great sport with the help of so many people in our great sport of ice hockey.
Yeah. So funny story. Oh, it's not necessarily funny, but more or less a story. I actually met Rico through hockey. That's
Mhm.
we as a family have known him for a long, long time. And me and my brother would go out and help with the camps during the summertime. So what I know things are kind of weird with COVID
Mhm.
and everything like that, but how could somebody in that age range that's watching us today, how could they um, get into to what you're talking about?
Well, our program is called the Flint Inner City Youth Hockey Program. That's Flint Inner City Youth Hockey Program. And we have a Facebook page. So have your mom help you out or dad help you out by going to our Facebook page. From there, it's the easiest way to connect with us, and you'll be able to see pictures from past events, so you can see other kids that have experienced our program. You'll be able to find out when the upcoming program is, because right now with COVID, we're still a little bit unsure if we're going to host a program or the way we're going to host it. But I think that's the easiest way. But we also have a website. It's flintinnercityyouthhockey.org. I know Samantha's having fun with that. flintinnercityyouthhockey.org, and there you can sign up. We don't have any open sign up right now, but you can donate and find out more information about our program.
Awesome. It sounds like a really incredible way to help out in the community, which is, like I said earlier, something that CS and Ruth and the Motts as an entire family was incredibly passionate about. And it's gone on, and we've passed it on now through Applewood, where we love to be able to help out and bring you as much information and as much good programming as we possibly can, whether it's like an educational programming or helping fun programming that you may have yourself. All right, just a couple more questions, and then I think we may have enough time to read the book one more time, just in case anybody
Okay.
came in late.
All
All right,
right.
so the next question is,
Josh,
yeah, absolutely.
sorry to interrupt. I do have to leave the meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I have another one. I just want to let you know I'm going to exit.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, thank you. All
Thank you.
right, so let's see. What can I do to help out?
With the inner city youth hockey program or in the community? Which way?
In the
Josh?
community.
So the easiest way, depending on your age and whether we're speaking to a really young person between the ages of, say, kindergarten and third grade, or we're talking about older teenagers or adults, it's all a little bit different. So as a kid, the first thing you can do is start to look for ways to help your community around you. That means within your school, within your neighborhood. School is the easiest way, because then you'll have adults that can help you come up with ways to better help your fellow student, whether it be forming a special club where everyone gets together and does their homework so that everyone achieves, not just the students that maybe are a little bit better at some subjects than others, or maybe it's forming some type of a drive. Now, I know that we're not in normal times with Zoom calls and the way that you're probably being educated, but you can work on ways to make sure that everybody in your classroom is getting everything they need to succeed, whether that be, are they getting, making sure they're getting meals, are they eating, are you asking others how they're doing? That's the simplest way to help your community. And when you get older, you have more opportunities, because as you get older, you have more responsibility. So if you're a teenager, now it's time to start looking at ways you can help the broader, not just your school, but people around your school, people within your community. Or if you're in a high school, definitely you have opportunities to help out, whether it be going to local clubs like Burston Field House in Flint or Boys and Girls Club to help support the programs they have, especially if you've got the means to help physically. You don't have to have money to help people. You have to have the ability in your heart to care about other people. And that's the easiest way I can describe what community means. And certainly when you become an adult, Josh, like you're doing what's necessary. You're reaching out to others to help them feel as though they're a part of something, and that's really what community means. So we don't want anybody to be off straight away. We're having difficult times, so today not only is it time to read a story and reflect about how important it is to read and understand words, but it's also time to reflect on how important our community is. So as you become an adult, you have to look for ways. It's so important. I won an award from the National Hockey League this past year for my community service in hockey. And I tell people this, that award is as heavy as it is, it weighs very little compared to the rewards that I've gotten from giving up myself to my community. So if I'm talking to an adult, that's what I want you to take. And hopefully I inspire you by that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that really further proves the point that like giving a little bit of energy, a little bit of time, and a little bit of effort is really the foundation to helping out in your community, no matter what your age is. I think that's incredibly, incredibly important. All right.
I think,
Josh,
real briefly, I want to say, absolutely. I think a lot of people relate giving as part of wealth or money, but giving of yourself is so much more valuable. So just hopefully everybody embraces that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last question, and then we'll read the story one more time just to make sure, okay. In case anybody came in late. Okay. So a one sentence tip on what you'd give to community superheroes out here.
One sentence quit.
I know it's a tough question.
I would say don't quit. When you are discouraged, don't quit. It matters. What you're doing matters. If you're being a superhero in the smallest ways to the biggest ways, people think that firefighters are some of the biggest superheroes, but there's so many people around us that give of themselves. And sometimes it gets frustrating because you're not sure if that help is really being applied or if people feel it or they're thankful. Don't quit because you're doing the right thing. So I guess that's my sentence in a long form. Maybe that's more of a paragraph.
Don't quit. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. I think it's time to read one more time and then we'll sign off.
All right. Sounds good, Mr. Josh. Here we go again. It's called 10 Rules of Being a Superhero by Deb Politi. And if you were with us earlier, remember some of the words that you can read along with us. Rule number 1, a superhero must always respond to a call for help, even if the odds are against him. Rule number 2, saving the day is messy, but everyone understands. Oh, you can see Mom up there. Nobody said saving the day was glamorous. Moms don't understand rule 2. That's Captain Magma, and that's Lava Boy. Rule number 3, a superhero has at least one superpower. That's what makes him super. Captain Magma has 3. He's really strong, has lava vision, and a friendly personality. Rule number 4, a superhero must use his power in a good way. So let's see how it's being used in a good way. Cookies for all. My, he is super strong. And look at the dinosaur. Mine, all mine. Mwahaha! Villains use their powers in a bad way. Rule number 5. Sometimes superheroes make a lot of noise. Can you make some of those noises? Grrr, pow, wham, stop. Not everyone appreciates this rule. Look at the baby. Cry like a baby, everyone. What? Let's play outside. Pretty good idea. I'm sure Mom will be happy with that too. Rule number 6, a superhero needs a tasty snack to be in top form. That's a pretty tasty looking snack. Oh, I see a belch. Excuse me. Rule number 7, superheroes must rest so they can recharge and be ready when the next time comes to save the day. Let's see what's going on over here. They're sleeping. Like now. Help! Help! Hello! Excuse me. Yoo-hoo! Can you give me a hand? That's Lava Boy's neighbor right there. Rule number 8, a superhero is always brave. Oh, I see a bee. What's that buzzing sound? Can you make a buzzing sound while I turn the page? Buzz. Well, almost always. Oh dear, don't be afraid of the bee. I'm not, but Captain Magna is. Am not. Rule number 9. The goal of a superhero is to save innocent victims. Not this worm, Mr. Bird, with no thought for his own safety. Uh-oh. Let's see what's going to happen here. Oh, he finally can fly. He says, I can fly. Looks like Magna, or Lava Boy, rather, has to go help Captain Magna out this time. This is awkward. Of course, he's in the bird's nest somehow. And Lava Boy has to climb the tree to help out his partner. Rule number 10. Every superhero needs a sidekick because saving the day is more fun with a friend. Thanks, Lava Boy. Anytime, Captain Magna. The end.
Thank you so much.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So I really, really want to thank you, Rico, for coming out and gracing us with your presence today and teaching us a couple things about all sorts of different things. So I think if we can take away anything from this is anybody can be a community superhero. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and a little bit of energy, but those are all things that we can give just a little bit back to the community to make it a better place. And it only takes a little bit to start. So I just want to thank everybody so much for coming out. And if you're sticking with us till the end here, I really appreciate it. Again, thank you, Rico, and thank you everybody
You're
that's
welcome.
helped put this together. Just really quickly, I'll have Kristen put out a survey in the comment section. Just let us know how we're doing. Outside of that, have a great weekend and enjoy up north, Rico.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye-bye, boys and girls. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, everybody.